In this overview of Cal Newport's book So Good They Can't Ignore You, you'll learn more doable, realistic strategies to succeed in your career and personal life, as well as how to avoid the follow your passion trap. Introduction. Why should I care? You've probably heard at some point that following your passion is the key to happiness and success from someone, somewhere. This is the catchphrase of innumerable self-help gurus who travel the globe with false tans. But is this guidance sound? If that's the case, why did Steve Jobs create one of the most renowned corporations when his dream was to become a Zen master? The passion trap is eliminated in the 2012 book So Good They Can't Ignore You in favor of more pragmatic and real-world approaches to career success. You will discover how to acquire the uncommon and priceless abilities needed for fantastic professions. You will also learn how to apply those abilities to gain control and autonomy at work, which are must-haves for happiness in the workplace. You'll learn how to find your own purpose, a motivating professional objective, as well. Principle Concept 1. Pursuing a career you're enthusiastic about might often result in misery and discontent because passion is uncommon. Life coaches and authors who promote the passion hypothesis exhort people to do what they love. Find your passion first, and then fulfilling job will present itself, is the general message. But is a route driven by enthusiasm always the best one? First of all, genuine passion that aligns with career prospects is incredibly uncommon. 84 out of 100 Canadian university students who participated in the 2002 study said they had passions. However, the majority of the interests they discovered were pastimes like dance, reading, and skiing rather than feasible employment options. In actuality, only 4 out of 84 students indicated passions that had a clear relationship to their studies or jobs, such computer programming. Second, passion has its risks. More people have started to follow their passions since the introduction of the passion hypothesis in 1970. They change jobs more frequently because they believe that one should only do the work they love. But the labor market is unable to provide these needs. Since not everyone can be a professional poet or beer drinker, more job searchers end up in unsatisfactory positions. In actuality, recent decades have seen a drop in employment satisfaction. Compared to 61% in 1987, only 45% of polled Americans in 2010 said they were satisfied with their jobs. It follows that searching for the job you were meant to do will probably lead to endless job hopping and self-doubt. Consider Thomas as an example. With his work, Thomas was not satisfied. He finally followed his enthusiasm to the monastery since he wished to become a Zen Buddhist. When he arrived, he said he was very hungry and was looking forward to a great supper, but he soon realized that the meal had not satisfied him. Thomas had been successful in his Zen practice, but his fears and anxieties had not disappeared. He discovered that following one's passions does not ensure happiness. Since passion is uncommon, pursuing a career in it frequently results in sadness and discontent. 2. Don't do what you love. Learn to enjoy your work through achieving mastery, independence, and relatedness. It would seem that the path to success doesn't involve discovering a passion first, then building a career around it. But how else can you be content with what you do if it isn't? The solution might be found in experience. This was the deciding element in the satisfaction of the employees, according to a poll of administrative assistants in colleges. The assistants' work may appear monotonous, yet when questioned about it, they gave a range of responses. A third of people saw it as a job, merely a means of support. A further third described it as a profession or a route to something greater. The remaining third saw it as a calling or a crucial component of their lives and identities. The assistant was more likely to like their work and view it as a vocation the more experience they had. Therefore, passion develops over time since it increases your likelihood of being happy with what you do as you get better at it, feel more effective at it, and build close relationships with your coworkers. However, there are other factors that affect job happiness than experience. Expertise is still another. It is more likely that you will become passionate about something once you have mastered it. This is demonstrated by the self-determination theory, a scientific notion. According to the notion, intrinsic motivation, which is related to higher levels of job satisfaction, can be produced by 3 fundamental components. These 3 elements are autonomy, the sense of having control over your day, competence, the sense of being competent at what you do, and relatedness, the sense of belonging to others. To be autonomous and competent is to become an expert in the topic you are working in. You don't need enthusiasm for it, all you need is the willingness to put in the effort necessary to develop that expertise. Don't follow your passion. Learn to enjoy your work through achieving mastery, independence, and relatedness. Key Concept 3. Develop a craftsman's mindset, put in a lot of practice, and step outside of your comfort zone. The what do I really want? Inquiry is central to the passion mindset. In other words, those who have it frequently question whether their job is the proper one for them. They are intensely aware of everything they detest about their profession and concentrate on the value it offers them. The outcome? Their level of happiness and job satisfaction decline. The craftsman mindset, in contrast, ponders what value I can provide to my position. The craftsman's perspective recognizes that success is always about quality, regardless of the industry you work in. Be so good that they can't ignore you, in the words of comedian Steve Martin. Instead of constantly questioning whether the task you are doing today is your actual calling, concentrate on the quality of it. When you acquire the mindset of a craftsman, you won't be reluctant to take the required steps to increase the caliber of your job. And how can you raise the standard? Through focused practice that pushes one's limits and yields constructive criticism, a person can improve. For instance, it takes around 10,000 hours of effort and study to become a master chess player. But it doesn't stop there. The finest chess players aren't those who practice more, but rather those who practice more effectively after reaching master level. Why does that matter? It denotes that they take their study and practice seriously, or deliberate practice. Deliberate practice for a chess player could entail researching challenging theoretical chess puzzles rather than simply playing more games. Why? Due to the fact that opponents are chosen at random and hence might not have the skills to present a true challenge, playing does not always require the player to step outside of his comfort zone. On the other hand, theoretical chess puzzles can always be adjusted to the player's skill level. Even though focused practice is frequently difficult and taxing, you shouldn't ignore it because you can only achieve true mastery by adopting it. Get out of your comfort zone, practice diligently, and adopt the mindset of a craftsman. Key concept number 4. Acquire important and unusual abilities to build your career capital and land a terrific job. The artisan attitude is beneficial in any profession because it promotes purposeful practice, which aids in the development of specific skills and proficiency. That's advantageous since those with uncommon skills are more likely to land fantastic jobs. These are the uncommon jobs that provide for creative freedom and control over one's work. How do you obtain one then? If you want a rare and valuable job in a supply and demand labor market, you need equally uncommon and valuable talents. These abilities, referred to as career capital, are what help distinguish you from other people. Think about Laura, a former accountant who took a chance and started her own yoga studio, to understand the value of career capital. After a period of success, the studio experienced a financial problem. Laura mismanaged the business despite having a large amount of career capital in accounting and little in managing a yoga studio. It was among the first to sink. How therefore can you amass enough professional wealth to avert Laura's fate? You are compelled to improve your skills through the craftsman mindset. The tale of television writer Alex serves as a wonderful illustration of this. Alex had to contend with an especially harsh winner-take-all market in his line of work. Instead of pushing forward only out of emotion, he calmly observed the situation and concluded that the career capital he needed was the capacity to write scripts exceptionally effectively. He consciously practiced by writing scripts and repeatedly asking coworkers to provide constructive criticism. By practicing in this way, he built the professional capital he needed to beat out the opposition. Collect professional capital by learning useful and uncommon talents to land a fantastic job. Gain career capital to keep authority and independence at work, which is the 5th key idea. According to research, having control is essential to living a happy, fulfilling life. This also applies to the workplace, where there are a few control-related pitfalls to watch out for. First off, we frequently believe that power gained without financial investment in our careers is tenable. It's not. Let's look at 2 instances. Let's start with Jane, a brilliant student who wished to have complete control over where and how she worked. She developed a travel blog to fund her international travels in order to do this. However, Jane's blog was a failure since she lacked blogging career capital. She had not even thought of how to monetize the site or draw in readers. Second, think of Ryan, who wanted to establish his own farm in order to have more control over his work. Although he had no professional training in agriculture, by cultivating and selling crops in his backyard, he had already accumulated the essential career capital. His Red Fire farm became an enduring success thanks to this financial backing. The desire to give up control acquired at work in exchange for a promotion is another trap. Let's say you've gotten good enough at your job that your manager has given you some responsibility for work management. Your manager will likely reject any changes you try to make, such reducing your hours, as they will perceive them as a threat. They might lose a key worker. Your employer might attempt to promote you in an effort to keep you. But be careful, even if the compensation can be higher, you'll undoubtedly lose your hard-earned control as a result of having to perform novel, unfamiliar activities. Lulu, a software developer who had accumulated career capital and exploited her position to negotiate a shorter work week, almost experienced this. Lulu was gutsy and declined the company's offer to promote her so they could keep her on full-time, choosing instead shorter hours and more control. Gain career capital to keep your level of control and independence at work. Key Idea 6. Identify a mission that inspires you and serves as a unifying objective for your professional life by adopting a craftsman mentality. If you have a mission for your job, it will be more inspiring. People who are working toward a worthwhile objective get more satisfaction from their work and perform better under pressure. For instance, Pardis Sabiti, a Harvard researcher, is working to combat ancient diseases with computer technology. Despite the demands of her job, she is able to love it and even have energy left over for other creative pursuits because to her objective. However, where do you go for a worthwhile career objective? In the nearby potential. The area of the adjacent possible is where all the discoveries that are yet to be achieved can be found. This area includes all the potential fusions of concepts that lie just outside the current boundaries of science and technology. Scientific breakthroughs frequently happen repeatedly and simultaneously as different researchers make the same findings since they are within reach of everyone working on them. For instance, in 1611, 4 researchers individually found sunspots, and in the subsequent few years, 2 distinct researchers independently discovered oxygen. The neighboring potential of the field is where good career missions, like scientific breakthroughs, are discovered. Dr. Sabiti is motivated by technology to advance biology, not by performing the same thing over and over again. To find a task, you must already be at the forefront of your field. How do you get there then? By focusing on learning only a small number of essential skills and honing them with the mindset of a craftsman. If your interests are scattered, you will just learn the basics and never advance beyond where you are right now in terms of talents. However, keep in mind that missions aren't necessarily appropriate places to start. Don't stress too much about finding one, they normally appear on their own as you learn useful and rare skills. Find a mission that inspires you and serves as a unifying objective for your work life by adopting a craftsman mentality. Principle Concept 7. To succeed on a mission, one must take risks and stand out from the crowd. Acquiring professional capital is the first step toward reaching the cutting edge of your area, and once you get there, you'll find a mission. But how do you carry out your objective when you do? You've probably heard the proverb, Rome wasn't built in a day? Well, careers aren't either. Instead of attempting to complete your task all at once, focus on small, manageable initiatives to advance gradually. Make tiny risks that pay off quickly, within a few months, so that you can determine your success or failure. Utilize the little but important victories to advance your mission, and when you undoubtedly fail occasionally, take the lessons you learned to make improvements. Consider Kirk, an archaeologist on a quest to make archaeology more accessible. He placed a few little bets to further his goal. First, he issued a DVD of vintage material from a 1960s archaeology documentary. He then shot some of his own documentary material and submitted an application for more money. Both wagers are reasonable in size and easily judged as winners or losers, providing feedback. But ultimately, for a mission to be successful, the destination has to be extraordinary. Remarkable requires 2 things, it must inspire conversation and it must be published somewhere where people can speak about it. Giles, a computer programmer who wished to develop an open-source artificial intelligence program that could compose music, is an excellent illustration of someone with an extraordinary mission. The project stood out from the crowd since it was distinct and exciting enough to catch people's attention. He released his program in the open-source community, where people are curious to learn about new software and may converse about it in forums. You now know how to be excellent so that people can't ignore you. Employ a craftsman's mentality, invest in your career, and gradually identify and follow your objective. It takes taking big risks and standing out from the crowd to succeed on a quest. Final thoughts. This book's main takeaway is: learn to love what you do instead of looking for a career that fits your interests. A focused practice-based career capital acquisition strategy is the initial stage in this process. This calls for adopting a craftsman mentality. Additionally, having a goal to work toward is never a bad thing and can considerably improve job happiness. Practical suggestions from the book. Choose the type of market you are in. There is one type of career capital that succeeds in a winner-take-all market: quality. You need to excel in what you do. On the other hand, the auction market offers a variety of ways to succeed. Only extremely well-written advice blogs may succeed and draw readers in the cutthroat blogosphere, an example of a winner-take-all market. Determine the abilities you'll need to succeed in your industry. Identifying your career capital type is what this is. How can a blogger write blogs that are incredibly compelling? How can you improve upon the skills you already have? You must keep in mind how challenging it is to start from beginning. When making crucial choices regarding your employment, keep control traps in mind. You will never have control over your employment without career capital. That's because others won't grant you power over your work until you've demonstrated your ability and mastery. Regularly conduct background research in your field to determine your objective. The surrounding possibilities should never be overlooked. If you want to learn more about this outstanding book by Cal Newport, click the link below to purchase it. So good that they can't ignore you. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, share with friends and family.